Hello and welcome. My name is Colin Deschardins, Associate Safety Professional of Inman Fire Department. Today we will discuss the importance of fire prevention efforts in our community. Fire prevention efforts often go unnoticed. However, these efforts will have the most significant impact on our community safety. All of us have a duty to take fire prevention seriously. Everyone, from each resident to the mayor, is accountable for educating our community on how to prevent fires from new construction projects to our historic buildings and mill structures. Through applying the 3 E's of fire prevention, engineering, education, and enforcement, our community can continue to build a safer place for new and existing structures for generations to come. Inman can be a leader in fire safety for South Carolina and beyond. The 3 E's of fire prevention lay the groundwork needed to ensure fire prevention is communicated successfully. Fire prevention can be defined as the efforts to decrease the potential of unwanted ignition and to limit the spread of fire by methods independent of actions taken after ignition to some extent. Engineering methods for new and existing structures, education programs like fire safety programs, fire safety week, smoke alarm installation initiatives, and fire and escape drills, and fire inspection and code enforcement make up the 3 E's of fire prevention. Our department will always seek ways to have any fire hazards engineered out before implementing code enforcement. It is important that builders and residents are educated on these efforts. Engineering can be thought of as mitigation and emergency management by reviewing of building permit applications and designs, applying construction standards, and testing of materials for fire resistance. Fire prevention education programs continue to be one of the most effective ways to build safe and resilient communities. These efforts can be done by partnerships to spread messages of awareness and having fire prevention learning in each of our town hall meetings. Our last town hall meeting was on March 2nd, 2023. Our next City Council meeting will be on March 13th, 2023. Everyone is welcome. We can also spread fire prevention awareness through our social media accounts. Our firefighters take pride in the department, and we strive to provide the very best service possible. Our department is engaged in local schools, churches, and nursing homes doing fire prevention programs and training, along with providing first aid response, fire protection, wildlife fire protection, and building inspections for local businesses. Code enforcement ensures that new and existing buildings are maintaining fire safety operations for their customers and public safety members. Our main goal of fire prevention is to eliminate unwanted ignition in homes and businesses, and that no Inmanites suffer from the horrors of fire damage. Fire inspection and code enforcement is an important element in preventing fires from devastating impacts. The enforcement of codes and regulations are handled in a few different ways in Inman. The city listed as a goal to work with CC&I to develop a code enforcement officer position in March of 2022. This position would lead the efforts of educating business owners in the city of the building codes and enforcing fire codes when necessary. The city utilizes CC&I for a variety of services as it pertains to fire prevention efforts. For businesses to operate in the city of Inman, and for residential structures to go under construction, the business owner or builder must apply for certain permits through CC&I. CC&I covers building permit applications and residential building applications, electrical and mechanical applications, site and demolition permits, and fire permits that cover fire sprinklers, fire alarms, vent hoods, storage tanks, and the fire main. CC&I is an independent third-party consulting firm that conducts inspections and provides permits and consulting for multiple state agencies, county and city building departments, individuals, and companies in the private sector. Through their Department of Building Safety, our community handles permit applications for new and existing structures and provides code enforcement. Another element of fire prevention is the modern development and applications of manufactured fire-resistant materials and the testing of these materials and components. When building materials are introduced, They will undergo fire testing that complies with ASTM E119. That is the standard test method for fire tests of building construction and materials. The City of Inman and our department requires these materials to undergo fire testing and ratings before new construction, and we are committed to protecting each citizen by retrofitting historic buildings to meet these standards. Fire test results enable code officials to compare materials against code requirements to determine compliance. Through these processes, we can determine what type of fire rating different materials are. This helps builders, designers, and compliance officers establish rankings and classifications for material components and to select these materials for various projects. Through applying the 3 E's of fire prevention, the City of Inman can make great strides in protecting our existing buildings and enforcing codes for new construction of homes and businesses in the area. Our department is committed to keeping our community safe through engineering, education, and fire inspection and code enforcement. The department and other community leaders take part in spreading fire prevention messages for all ages. We have platforms where these messages can be conveyed, whether it is during our next town hall, through social media, or during Fire Safety Week in our schools. Mitigation efforts can be sustained by focusing on engineering safe buildings and other structures. During the testing of materials, our community can be sure that we are enforcing codes and regulations for fire-safe materials to be used. The city utilizes a third-party consulting firm to assist with permits and inspection. With help from every single citizen in Inman, our city can be a leader in small-town fire prevention efforts. Our structures can be a rock in the landscape of upstate South Carolina, where we will continue to have smiling faces in beautiful places.